Good afternoon, welcome to our Camnet Midday News. My name is Amazing Katamanda with the headlines. BOWMAN LUSAMBO on run amid new corruption charges. State House distances cases Liquidator MILINGO LUNGU.
The trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Thank you for staying with us, and now the news in detail. The Anti-Corruption Commission says the former Lusaka Province Minister, BOWMAN LUSAMBO, is currently on the run, and that the Commission is engaging his lawyers to ensure that he avails himself before the Commission to ensure to more charges he has been implicated onto. Meanwhile, the SEC has disposed of a case in which it was investigating a former councillor accused of buying a bank together with its assets.
The fight against corruption in Zambia has been labeled a witch hunt by some opposition political party members and stakeholders who feel it has been targeted at certain individuals who once held public office. Addressing the media in Lusaka Wednesday morning, the Anti-Corruption Commission spokesperson Quinchiwe says the commission received a total of 306 reports of suspected corruption during the first quarter of 2022. Out of the reports received, a total of 148 were non-corruption related, while 158 reports contained elements of corruption and 132 reports were authorized for investigations.
At the close of the quarter, the Commission concluded and closed a total of 13 investigation cases. 11 arrests were also made countrywide, and the Commission had 61 cases before the courts of law, and 4 of the cases were concluded, resulting into 2 convictions. There were 6 cases pending judgment. There were no acquittals whatsoever recorded in any case before the court of law in the first quarter of the year.
Among cases that brought a lot of speculations on social media was one in which the Commission reported that it was investigating a matter in which a former councillor bought a bank together with its assets. The Commission has, however, U-turned and informed the media that the allegations were not true and that the case has been disposed of.
A former ward councillor in Lusaka was reportedly to have bought a bank and together with all its assets. On this particular matter, I wish to report that there was no substance whatsoever in these allegations that were made, and so the case has since been closed. So just like it was a former ward councillor. So using our investigations to the bank that was allegedly being bought, we found that there was no substance in those reports and the case has been closed.
And Ms. Chiwe says former Lusaka Province Minister BOWMAN LUSAMBO is currently on the run and that the Commission is engaging his lawyers to ensure that he avails himself before the Commission to answer to more charges he has been implicated into.
The Commission is also still making efforts through the lawyers of Mr. LUSAMBO to ensure that he appears before the Commission. There are other allegations other than the possession aspect of it that he's facing currently. There are other allegations that have been leveled against Mr. LUSAMBO, and we want his lawyers to avail him to the Commission for questioning because he has been elusive in the past few days.
Additionally, the Commission says it has come across additional information concerning the involvement of Faith Musonda into Corruption Act, which has led to extended investigations.
So number 1, possession of suspected proceeds of crime in form of the house at Kingsland City against Margaret Stella Musonda, alias Faith Musonda. In this particular case, following her arrest, the Commission has come across additional information in this matter concerning the same Faith Nsonda, and this information has led to extended investigations. Investigations into alleged possession and concealment of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime against former State House Press Aide Amos Chanda. In this particular matter, investigations have reached an advanced stage.
With the Commission authorizing the investigation of 132 reports of corruption, the general public looks forward to seeing those involved be dealt with. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Minister of Justice, Mulambo Haimbe, says government will not be forced to respond to the allegations that the state is involved in the acquittal of MILINGO LUNGU by the Director of Public Prosecution when the matter has been taken to the courts of law. The Justice Minister, who addressed the media in Lusaka Wednesday, says the state will file an affidavit before the courts in which the state witnesses implicated in the matter will have to defend themselves.
Tuesday, 19th April 2022, social media was awash with reactions from the public after former Konkola copper mine liquidator MILINGO LUNGU implicated the state as having influenced his acquittal of charges of theft and money laundering involving 1.4 billion United States dollars. According to claims by MILINGO LUNGU, he entered into a bargain with the state's agents spearheaded by Principal Private Secretary to the President Bradford Majila, Special Assistant to the President for Legal Affairs Christopher Mundia, Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha, Solicitor General Marshall Muchende, Director of Public Prosecution Lillian Siyuni, and Natasha Kalimukwa, the Administrator General. Minister of Justice Mulambo Haimbe says the claims by MILINGO LUNGU are just one side of the story and has asked members of the general public to wait for an affidavit in response to Mr. Lungu filed before the Constitutional Court by the state.
Please, let's avoid asking questions about the substantive allegations and assuming that the substantive allegations are true. You assume that meetings took place and so on and so forth. That's one side of the story only. Be patient. Wait for the correct documents to be filed into court and you'll get your answers, which by that time will be in the public domain because, as you know, court proceedings are a matter of public record.
Mr. Haimbe further adds that lapses in the law have been observed in the manner the Director of Public Prosecutor Lillian Siyuni acted when she questioned the conduct of the Drug Enforcement Commission in rearresting MILINGO LUNGU over the charges he was acquitted and has since appealed to relevant authorities to expedite the investigative process.
The question that begs an answer is whether the learned DPP has exercised her functions within the confines of the law and in the public interest. Our initial assessment in answer to that question is that there have been significant lapses on the part of the DPP which require thorough, independent and fair investigation by relevant bodies.
And presidential spokesperson Anthony Wadia has denied any involvement of President Hakainde Hichilema in the acquittal of MILINGO LUNGU and says the president is committed to fighting corruption.
Has never met and he will never meet any individual in conflict with the law, especially not for purposes that can be understood or seen to be undermining the rule of law or the law in itself. This is a government of laws, this is a president of law and order. Such a thing would never happen and it will never happen. And to that extent, I wish to reaffirm and confirm that we stand by the initial statements that we issued.
We wish to make it absolutely clear that it is not the policy of the New Dawn government for the president to meet and negotiate with any person that is in conflict with the law for the purposes of subverting the course of justice. Kindly take note.
We will continue to monitor how the matter will unfold as it is before the courts of law. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Council of Churches in Zambia has bombed the tendency by political cadres to harass civil servants. CCZ General Secretary Father Emmanuel Chikoya has in this regard condemned the call by some United Party for National Development members that the Director of Public Prosecution, Vivian Chiyuni, should resign within 48 hours for what they termed as incompetence.
Of the DPP. Therefore, the tendency by some political party cadres to bully and harass civil servants and public service workers is strongly condemned, and it is a culture that should not be allowed to exist in the current political dispensation. The Zambian people voted for change of government because they believed that the UPN government would restore the rule of the law in the country. CCZ recognizes the fact that there could be challenges regarding how the DPP has been handling cases. This, however, does not justify the methodology employed by UPND cadres. As CCZ, we give guidance that such behavior must be followed by stern disciplinary action against the perpetrators to act as a deterrence so that such ugly behaviors are not allowed to increase and become the norm. We call upon all those with grievances regarding the DPP to follow the guidelines as stipulated in the Constitution by lodging a formal complaint to the Judicial Complaints Commission. No one is above the law, and we reiterate that any act of lawlessness must be swiftly and decisively dealt with in order to curtail anarchy, which may consequently undermine the rule of law.
The Global Entrepreneurship Network Zambia GENS says Zambian youth should aim at forming cooperatives that will grow to become major businesses in the long run. In an interview, GENS Acting Managing Director, Mr. Edwin Zulu, says most major retail shops from South Africa currently operating in Zambia and other African countries once began as cooperatives, hence the need to take a reef from those.
It's a cooperative. So that's what we need to do. If we're talking about and teaching people about cooperatives, let's show them successful models and how they've been models. So you need to show them case studies of successful cooperatives. From that point, we are going to help develop and promote sustainable cooperatives, because right now we are headed for worse failure than we had in the PF, because what has happened that from the UPND or government, from the party side, people have just been told go and form cooperatives and we are going to send money through the CDF and get. It's a wrong way to promote cooperative as a country.
This brings us to the end of our Camnet Media News, but before we go, let's take a look at the headlines that made the stories. BOWMAN LUSAMBO on run amid corruption charges. State House distances itself from corruption cases involving KCM and LUNGU. Thank you for joining us on our Camnet Media News. My name is Amazing Katamanda. Good afternoon.